Hi guys! Welcome to 10. Where's my belt? I left it at the cleaners. Well, never mind. So today, we're going to be making nimono, which is stewed vegetables. And we're also going to use chicken thigh. And this nimono is great dish for winter to warm you up. So, let's get cooking! Okay guys, the first thing we need to do for our nimono, or Japanese stew, is prepare a dashi broth. Start by adding 700 ml of water to a saucepan, and next we will add our favorite umami bringing friend, kombu, and let sit for 30 minutes. If you don't have time, you can skip this step. After 30 minutes, we will turn this to a medium heat until it begins to boil. This helps to release some of the flavor. Once we see that start to boil, we will take out the kombu. This will prevent our dashi being too bitter. Then, turn up the heat. And we're going to add some katsuobushi, that's bonito flakes, and let that boil for 3 minutes on high heat. You can make nimono with just water, of course, but this extra step will really give your dish a deeper and richer flavor. Feel free to use store-bought dashi stock powder as well. Next, take a colander with either some kitchen paper or kitchen cloth and drain your dashi broth. Super easy, right guys? Dashi done in a dash. Wait, that doesn't really work. Anyway, next, we want to prepare our chicken. I'm using 350 grams of chicken thigh here with the skin on. First, we will wipe off any moisture with a paper towel and we will get rid of any fatty parts and tendon or sinew part of the chicken. We're going to cook the skin side well to remove excess fat before we add it to our stew and just to give it a bit of extra flavor. First, we will heat some oil. Wait a minute! Maybe not. If you're thinking about your waistline after the holidays, you can just use the fat of the chicken itself and it will crisp up just as well. Once our pan is heated up, we will add our chicken, skin side down, and just cook that until we see a nice golden brown color. Once just the skin side is cooked, we will take that out and cut that into bite-sized chunks. The reason we cook the skin side first is to get more even crispness as opposed to cooking it after we cut it. Now our chicken is done, it's time for our vegetables. You can use any vegetables you want for your nimono, but today we're going to be using gobo or burdock root, ninjin or carrot, daikon, Japanese radish, shiitake mushrooms, and saya ingen, which are green beans. We also have konnyaku, but maybe you've never heard of this. It's good though, try if you can get it. Will give you some chewy texture and it'll absorb the flavor of our stew very well. Okay, Japanese lesson over. First, peel the daikon radish and cut this into bite-sized chunks. We will do the same with the carrots. We call this type of cutting rangiri or random cutting. It's a stew, so it doesn't have to be exact. For the burdock, we will scrape off the skin with the edge of our knife, cut off the hard ends, and then wash it. Dry it off, and then let's slice this up. Cutting it diagonally will allow for more room for the flavor to absorb into the burdock. Now that's done, it's time for the shiitake. We will cut the hard stalks off and cut these up too. And for the green beans, you can just cut the ends off. These green beans will add a nice little crunch as most of the other vegetables will soften up from boiling. That's all our vegetables done. Now in your saucepan, add 600 ml of dashi stock from before and put that over a medium heat. Once that starts to boil, we will add 2 tablespoons of sugar, 3 tablespoons of mirin or sweet cooking sake, and 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. Now we will add our chicken and our vegetables. Don't add the green beans just yet because they will overcook. We will add those last. Next is our konnyaku. We're going to tear this by hand. The rough edges after we tear it up will actually help it to absorb the flavor. I think that sounds right. Now all of our vegetables and chicken are in the pan except for the green beans. Give it a stir. And I've got another tip for you. You can use aluminum foil instead of the lid here. Doing this will mean some of the excess liquid from our stew can evaporate and concentrate the flavor in our vegetables and meat. And also, the liquid from our stew will float up, touch the foil, and then spray it evenly through our ingredients. Now, we will keep that on a simmer for about 20 to 30 minutes over a low heat. Occasionally, you may want to get rid of any foam that has rose to the surface of our nimono too. We call this akutori in Japanese, getting rid of some of the bitter foam that rises to the surface when we boil the meat or vegetables. Once the time is up, we will poke some of our root vegetables with a skewer or chopstick to check they're soft and cook through. And now add our green beans. Put our makeshift lid back on and wait for another 2 minutes. Now that's done, take those green beans out so they don't overcook. And now the most important step. Oishii. Now we know it tastes great, it's time to plate up our nimono. And... Okay, the nimono is complete! Beautiful smell, and I feel like nostalgic. Here in Japan, this nimono is one of the popular dish which mother prepares for their children. So, let's give it a try. いただきます。では。The chicken has absorbed all the flavor. So nice. Next, I'm gonna eat this konnyaku. Konnyaku has chewy texture and also absorbed the broth flavor. So, it's so rich. This nimono is full of vegetables, and chicken has a lot of protein. So it's very nutritious. And we cut the vegetables very small, so it cooked even faster. So if you don't have a lot of time to cook, nimono is great. Highly recommended. 日本はもう冬の時期になってきました。なのでとても寒いです。そういう時にはこのコトコト煮込んだあったかい煮物で体もそして心も温まります。なのでぜひチャレンジしてみてください。So, if you guys have any other recipes that you want me to make, please let me know in the comments down below. And remember, after we eat the meal, we all say, ごちそうさまでした!